their loyalty. Praises to our Savior who granted us the freedom. Allegiance to the hero who brought along the gather. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation flowing with earth and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambassador, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty in our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of His nation. Ambassador, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty in our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of His nation.
Okay.
Mbe.
Exactly.
Mbe. Hello, my name is Fru Nkimbeng. I'm originally from Cameroon, West Africa. We are honored by the visit of His Royal Highness, Fon of Mancon, also known as King of Mancon, visiting the milk city of Lowell. His Royal Highness visited Lowell the first time in 2002, and he was welcomed by the Honorable Mayor Rita Mercier, the Honorable Councillors, and the City Manager, and also made an honorary citizen of Lowell. So he came this time, and he thought it was very good that he visits Lowell again to chat with them and also to talk to the people of Lowell. His Royal Highness will be addressing the council session at 6:30. So we'll just have a brief interview with His Royal Highness to tell us a little bit about his travel to Lowell. Welcome to Lowell, Your Royal Highness.
Thank you. Well, this is my second visit. The first visit was in summer. This is the first I've come to see what snow is in this part of the world. It's still the same place I visited last, but the snow has made a big difference. I was freer when I came here at that time, but this time I'm compelled to stay indoors because of the snow. So that is the big difference I've found now. Now, my first visit was to know America and Lowell for the first time. I'm coming a second time about 5 years later because I want to know a little more than I knew the first time I came, as we intend to establish team relations between my own council and the Council of Lowell. And the difference I find too is that the mayor I met, just as I left home, I learned there was an election here. We have a new mayor. And it's a good idea. I will know the present mayor. And my friend I met, the last mayor, I hear is the deputy governor. So there's quite some changes here.
Your Royal Highness, that was in Worcester, the mayor of Worcester. Yes,
he was the mayor of Worcester. He's now deputy governor. And the mayor of Lowell is also changed. So I have found changes in personalities, but for good.
Thank you very much, Your Royal Highness. Your subjects and many Cameroonians and Africans are in Lowell. In Lowell, Lowell is a melting pot, a city of culture. We celebrate the Asian Water Festival. We celebrate the African Festival, and also we celebrate the Folk Festival. Your Royal Highness, you are custodian of our African culture. What will you tell your subjects, the African community, and in particular the Cameroonians who are living here in Lowell?
Well, we were told that America is
Your Royal Highness, is there any message that you would like to tell the public, the Lowellians? Lowell is a very, very warm and welcoming city. They have welcomed us, and then we have made this city our home. And we just wondering if you would like to say something to those who are watching.
Well, this being my second visit, if I was not impressed during the first visit, I wouldn't have come again. And the second visit is not the last visit. I come because I'm happy with the way my subjects are received in Lowell, in the universities, the schools here, and in the community. I will advise Cameroonians or Africans as a whole who are resident here to make this their second home. And also, I would like the Americans to also make Africa their second home, and in particular, my own country, Cameroon. We have very good relations. We have an embassy here. My government is very friendly with the Americans, and the government in particular. We expect that some of the advantages we'll have from you is that you also come home. Our homes are different from yours. Some of your technology can be transferred to our homes, our nations, and in my fandom in particular. So I thank you people, the Americans, for receiving our subjects here as brothers and sisters. And I'm expecting to receive Americans too in my kingdom. And also hope that they may bring their technology to come and help us, because America is far more advanced than Africa, which got its independence just a few years ago from colonial rule. So I expect to harvest much from my visit.
Thank you very much. I'd like to use this opportunity to thank you very much for the warm welcome that you have given His Royal Highness in Lowell. And we do hope that His Royal Highness will take very good memories back to Cameroon. Your Royal Highness, you're very welcome to Lowell.
You've ever read a book called By France Fanon? By France Fanon. He talks about the colonization of the land. It's when the French occupied Algeria.
English, they had the intention of doing something. But the French, with their own principles of colonization, they wanted to make the colonies part of France. And so when it came to independence, they had to fight.
Yeah.
But in our case, the English had not freedom loose. It was easy for them to surrender.
Look at what Portugal did, huh? They held on to the last second until they couldn't hold on anymore.
Yes.
And that was very destructive.
In our case, we had no war. That's good. There was nothing for the people to live.
What year did Cameroon become independent?
1960.
60. Not that long ago.
No, not long ago.
Develop ourselves. And we didn't invest so much to destroy.
They left us.
So where do we go?
We're going up to
Upstairs.
industrial walls.
Oh, sure. Let me take you into the exhibit real quick. The kind of ethnic groups and immigrant groups that came to Lowell and really helped build Lowell, what you see today. And originally it started out with the native English people, and then that was followed by the Irish, French Canadians, then the Swedish, then Portuguese, Lithuanians, Armenians, Syrians, who else? Polish, if I haven't mentioned that. And then most recently we have a lot of African folks, as you know.
Cambodians.
Indians, Brazilians, India, a woman from Nigeria, a man from Ghana, a woman from Colombia, and a guy from Russia. And this is
A special guest this evening is King Angwafo from the Mekong region of Cameroon in West Africa. This is the King's second visit to the city of Lowell. He was here a few years ago when Councilor Rita Mercier was the mayor of the city, and he is back in the United States, and his group that he is visiting with requested that they come and he be able to greet us this evening. So we want to welcome King Angwafo. Thank you for being with us this evening. If you would you like to share some greetings with us?
Dear councillors, ladies and gentlemen, greetings from Cameroon. As you've been told, I was here 5 years ago. I'm back a second time. I'm glad to be received by you, the councillors of Lowell. In my first visit, I met Mrs. Rita. She was mayor then. I was received in like manner as I'm received today. I fell in love with your council. I requested that my own council, the Bamenda Council, be linked to this council. I have come today to remind you of the wishes I expressed then, that your council should be twinned to the Bamenda Council. I'm happy that once more you have given me the opportunity to greet you, to thank you for the reception you gave me last time, and to appreciate the gesture you've made now. It is my hope that my council will be twinned to your council, and in the future, we shall work together. America is a leading nation. My country was once a colonial country, ruled by the British and the French. After independence, we have come to know America. We have diplomatic links with America. And in the present situation, where the world is becoming a global village, my council should make this a sister village. You have been many years independent. You have worked hard. You have gained experience. We got our independence in 1960, and we can rely on your experience, your cooperation, and assistance. If the two councils were twinned, you will know us better. We will know you better. And like an experienced and early brother, you give us a helping hand in our efforts to develop ourselves. We have many things to learn from America. That is why, in my second visit to America, where many of my subjects are resident, some working, some schooling, I cannot go back without paying visit to this council, to renew my wishes with the Lowell Council. I was very saddened to hear that one of you, former mayor, had lost a husband. I've come also to express my condolences to Madame Rita. I got that just when I was on the way. I had left home. I thought I would meet her. Now, I'm here. In remembrance of this occasion, Mr. Mayor, I have to present you with greetings from Bamenda. I've also brought a letter from my delegate. You had received communication from us since I left this place. Yes, that's your letter.
Who's it from?
My delegate is equivalent to the mayor.
Read these greetings from the Urban Council in Bamenda. And we have this gift which will hang in the mayor's office. And the greetings are, I wish to refer to our friendship letter and the signing of the twinning agreement of 5 November 2002 and November 15, 2002, 20 of June 2003, and would like to convey to the Lord Mayor and his citizens of your beautiful city love and greetings from the people of the municipality of Bamenda and my very humble self. Pray God Almighty to guide and strengthen our relationship for the building of bridges of love and friendship between North and South. May this friendship cooperation bear the expected results for citizens of our two cities. While I wish you great success in God's care at the service of your people, kindly accept with our best regards, Governmental Delegate, Bamenda Urban Council. And we too feel likewise, and we extend our greetings back to your council, and we will certainly, before you leave town, have a similar communication back. And I would just also like to our council to know, it's come up, at least a half dozen times in my term as mayor here about relationships we have with other governments around the world. And it was my intention, and it was a suggestion by a professor at UMass, to appoint a task force who would report back to the next mayor what form these sister city relationships should take. There hasn't been very good record keeping of many of them. And so before the end of the year, I intend to appoint that task force who will report back to the next mayor, because certainly not all our relationships with others around the world are as documented as well as this one is. So, King, you've set a good example for us to follow with our relationships with other cities and other countries, and we certainly welcome and are very humbled by your visit here to Lowell, Massachusetts. Thank you for sharing part of this evening with us.
Lord Mayor, may I present this to Councillor Rita?
Sir,
Good morning.
good to see you.
So do I.
Yeah, did you get in okay? Parking was okay?
Parking was
fine.
Yeah. It's not as big as our Queen, as our office in Worcester.
Oh, yes. But not the office,
Sit the seats on.
not the house. The office is big.
Yeah,
Bigger than the one in Worcester.
yeah, when I first got on the job, the first week I had taken down a lot of the pictures from the mayor's office. This is Gloucester Harbor, you know, up in the North Shore, painting of Gloucester Harbor. I have a map of Holyoke over there, and so we're getting there bit by bit.
Mm-hmm.
And, how long you over for a visit?
2 or 3 months.
Oh, good. So you're gonna travel just around Massachusetts, all around the country? Or
Around the country.
Yeah.
I'll travel more than 6 states.
Okay. What states you gonna hit?
I've been to Detroit,
Okay.
been to Chicago,
Yeah.
been to Minnesota, I've been to Baltimore,
Yeah.
I've been going down to Texas, and
So you see a lot of the big cities anyway. Texas, Christmas.
it's wonderful. When I first met you, I saw in you some signs of dynamism.
Oh,
I said, this young man will go places.
oh, thank you. That's kind
And
of
I'm happy my predictions come true.
well, you know,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
We had a good team of people that worked hard,
Yeah.
and you know, we worked for a little over a year and a half almost, and then we won the primary, and then after the Democratic primary, we teamed up with Governor Patrick. Book.
No.
We got it's a little book about John Adams, one of our early presidents,
Yeah.
and he just like you and me now, we've got a Boston and a Worcester connection. he started off his career as a teacher in Worcester. And he went on to become a lawyer, and you know, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, and from Braintree and Quincy, right over, and then his wife, he evacuated when in 1775, 1776, he evacuated his wife to Worcester when the British were in Boston. So put in there the so gang, thank you for your kindness and support. Like John Adams, we both now have a Boston and Worcester connection. All the best to the people of Cameroon. From the citizens of Massachusetts, yours truly, Lieutenant Governor Tim Murray.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
David McCullough, who's the author of that book,
Right.
also wrote a pretty famous book about Harry Truman, who was the vice president. And he, for his research for that book, spent a lot of time in Worcester, you know, at the Antiquarium Society on the corner of Park Ave and Salisbury, right across from First Baptist Church. So,
Okay.
I think between us, the USA, a much developed country, and the Cameroon, and Mali, you are the more stronger partner, the more civilized nation. We have just had our independence less than 50 years ago. And we have much to learn. That's why I'm here again, to visit many of the cities.
yeah.
In the course of my tour, I will learn, I will see the people who matter. And our first meeting, this second one is more successful than the first one.
Yeah.
And in Cameroon, we're beginning.
Well,
And to begin, you have to know those who have gone before you and those on top.
yeah.
And they have to discover how they went on. And what were the difficulties, how did they survive, how did they solve their problems to reach where they are. And to get a good beginning, we have to start by knowing what you've done and how you've gone to the success you are now enjoying.
Well,
In Cameroon, you don't expect much after 50 years of independence. And my daughter and the other men are here. We sent them here in the early 80s for education.
yeah.
They've not come back. They are now American citizens. And we moved to come and find out what's really wrong. And I find they're happy here
Yeah.
and they're enjoying the prosperity of the USA. And we want to share in that growth. And then we have to learn your ways and see what we can copy. And as a traditional ruler in a modern society, I have to get much from America through my visits and making friends.
Right.
Since my children and my subjects have made friends here, and I'm happy with their stay here. I want to know where they live, the people with whom they associate,
Yeah.
and how they live. Probably copy from that, unless such union can make greater progress. To see,
Yeah.
I have been a farmer all my life, and it has all been manual work. We farm with tools like that. That's what we use. Hoes we use, cutlasses we use, spades we use. And at this age, I can't carry that again. All rulers are students. They have to learn
Right.
in order to improve their situation. So we have to make some discovery. Where is Cameroon in Africa? Where does the king come from every day? to see my kingdom, to see my efforts and friendship established between my kingdom and the U.S. And since my country has good diplomatic relations with USA, and since we're endeavoring to maintain our peace in order to develop, and America is interested in peace and development.
Well, we'll see what we can do to make sure that that happens.
Well, I believe in you.
Thanks. And the book there, Harry Truman said, the only thing that's new in this world is the history you don't know.
Yeah.
And that's where those guys made a democracy, you know. It was a small group. But,
did you know Harry Truman?
No, I just read a lot about him, you know. He always...
When was he governor? I mean...
He was the president, vice president under Roosevelt in '44. And then he became president in '45.
Yeah.
When Roosevelt passed away. And he ran for re-election in '48 and won. And so he was about, you know, close to 10 years.
I know a little of his administration.
Yeah.
From Cameroon.
Okay.
Then we were not independent. We were under the British colonial administration. So we had no links with Cameroon. We came closer only during World War II. When in the battle the Allied forces joined in. And the American general did quite a great job. And so, luckily after that, we became independent and we could make new friends.
Gotcha.
And we found good friends across the Atlantic, educating our children.
Well, education is the key. Before you go, I want to make sure on the way out we let you see the governor's office.
Okay. The governor is not here. The deputy governor decorates his office with greetings.
Thank you.
Greetings from Bamenda.
All right.
Cameroon.
That's great.
Handicraft.
We'll find a spot for it on the wall in here. I like that.
We're speaking, we're exchanging views. This one speaks, does not stop. Put it on the wall.
Governor of the state of Massachusetts, Deval Patrick.
Picked this tradition when there's a new governor, they decide which portrait they would like to have hung over the fireplace. And he chose Governor Andrew because he was the governor of Massachusetts during the Civil War. And the story is, in the Civil War, there was a famous regiment, military regiment from Massachusetts, which was all black soldiers. And it was the first regiment of black soldiers in the Union Army, and it started because there was a neighborhood that was down the street in the 1850s and 60s that was black merchants who had, you know, they made leather goods, and they were blacksmiths, you know, the metal and everything. And one day, right before Thanksgiving, I think one of the merchants came up and invited the governor to come spend Thanksgiving dinner with him. And from there he said, if you were interested, they told the governor that there would be freed slaves and people who would be interested in serving in the Union Army, and that's where he got the idea. And the famous monument that's at the bottom, right across from the Common, talks about that regiment. So that's why he put Governor Andrew there. So, this is Douglas Wilder, who was the first African-American governor in the United States. So he came up for the swearing in when we got sworn in and Governor Patrick got sworn in. Only the second. So, and who knows? Sure now, if we have our first African-American president-elect. And the Bible that he took the oath on was the Mendi Bible. And the story of the Mendi Bible is that it was the Amistad John Quincy Adams, the son of John Adams, argued there was a slave boat, and the slaves revolted and took over the boat. And there was a movie made out of it in the book, but John Quincy Adams tried the case, and the slaves were freed. And as a present to John Quincy Adams, they gave him that Bible, which is at the Historical Archives, and they took it up. They took it out especially that day so the governor could take the oath of office on it. So, a little history.
Madam President, members of the Malcolm Cultural and Development Association, ladies and gentlemen, I have been called upon to perform a blessing rite by the President of Nakuda. I didn't expect this, but what important thing I have that made me leave home is to find out whether in the wide country as America you are lost by the customs and traditions of our ancestors. We live as a community. We work as a community. But I know in America here, the people are more individualistic. Each person struggling for his own future. I'm glad to see that we are not only united by our customs and tradition, by appearing in this uniform before me. I have no doubt that our traditional principle of unity, of maintaining our culture, our custom, is upheld by those of you who have left Cameroon and are resident in New England. We strongly believe in Cameroon that a people without culture are a lost people. By action, I have no doubt that this is a good place for you. You are not lost. Our culture is as good as any other culture. And by living among the Americans here, practicing our culture together, and by the encouraging you to live here, practice this culture, I have to congratulate you for doing that. By our tradition, the first thing you give a visitor is water. If you have no food, it is water. We believe that water is life. And in the tradition of our people, the greatest blessing comes with water. There's no poor man, there's no poor woman who cannot draw water from the fountain of nature, the stream, even the river. And there's nothing we eat without water. And so we grow because we take water. The plants grow because they take water. I am pleased to observe that the elders among you are bringing up the children in the right way, to be united, and to observe those good aspects of our culture, and to combine them with the good culture that you may find among the Americans here in the US. With this water, Makuda will prosper, it will grow. You will prosper, you will grow. I'm expecting you to present the good aspect of our culture to the Americans here. I'm hoping one day I will have Americans coming to stay with us as you have come to stay here.
Woolly! Woolly! Woolly!
The world is growing fast to become a global village. I endorse your stay here. You can marry here. You can bring your spouses to stay in Mankan. The world is one. The water we have in Mankan is the same water we have here. And so by that token, I stand here following the customs and tradition of our ancestors in this blessed land that has harbored you in peace. And as you know, we also respect peace and unity in Cameroon. You have the demonstrator in the way of life here. All being equal, God will accept our prayers and you will prosper. I will now want to see if you also have a cultural dance.
please.
I like to wait that team on the day. I like to wait that team on the day. Some of them go for a little bubble makuda. Boss no come along, also one day. You will lay, one yeah. I like to wait that team on the day. I like to wait that team on the day. I like to talk that team on the day. Yeah, one yeah. Manto wemba, zetiga day. Some of them go for bugatiga day.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, are we?
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I've been requested by the Makuda Association to say a word on this occasion. I realize that you've organized this occasion to welcome me and my entourage and to make known to the people of your community of my visit. I didn't come here with the intention of talking to a cross-section of the people I find here. Having organized this occasion and invited your friends of the USA also to meet me, it is but necessary that I thank those who have come here who are not members of Makuda, but who here and coming here for gracing this occasion with their presence and participating in what we are doing. I want to appreciate the effort of Makuda Worcester organizing this important meeting in New England. I congratulate you for feeling free and happy in America. I have to thank you for projecting the Mancon personality in America without blemish. I feel happy that the spirit of unity in the midst of a society that is so active on individualism is still holding tight amongst you. If you were divided, it would be evidence that you'll be lost in this mighty nation. I want to appreciate your effort to keep to the principles which led your coming here. I'm happy to see some of you working and going to school. I'm happy to find some of you settled here. I'm pleased that some of you have acquired the American nationality, and this is proof that you are behaving well. I will have no doubt if more of the youths from Cameroon will join you here to learn, to get educated, and learn the American way of life. I also expect that what you learn here, what you experience here, you have to select the best of it and bring home for us to make an effort to develop our own society. Between the 70s and now, most of you who came here first have 40, 50 years, and at this moment, I'd like to tell you one of the reasons that I came here is to sort out whether you are lost or you are still thinking of Cameroon. If I were to count my children at 40 and to find one without a home, without a family, I would call that a fool. And it will be a fool forever. I'm glad that you are applying the knowledge you learn here and the life you live here. Some of you have families, some of you have jobs, some of you have homes. And you are still traditional to give me the reception you are giving, for which I'm thankful. With the birth, you are helping to build America. You build your homes here, you work here, you pay your taxes here. All this help to build America. America is your second home. What of your first home? I'm appealing to those who have been 20 years here to think of Cameroon, to feel free to have two homes. I count on you, children of the first half century in which Cameroon got independence, to lay a solid foundation back home. We thought at the time we sent you here, we thought you were going to bring what we called in those days the golden fleece, the certificates. You have got the certificates, you have added to the certificate experience. At the time when the world is trying to become a global village, you are free to be here. but they are compelled to help in the development of your place of birth. I'll come again if some of you will follow me at home and also build your houses. If you don't do that, then I know at 60 you cannot build again. I will regard you at 60, 65 as lost. At 60, 65, those of you who are making families should be paying attention to the education of your children. It will be impossible to do that, support the children in the higher schools, in the colleges and universities, and at the same time establish a foothold back home by putting up your family houses. So this is just the time at 40 to make sure you can be counted at home as an enlightened citizen, educated in America, worked in America, experienced in America, and look back to your home of origin and make a name by owning a residence back in the fandom. I leave you with the challenge of choosing. America is your second home, and the Kingdom of Mankom as your place of birth and first home. I'm going to speak fair to your fathers, your mothers, your brothers and sisters at home, that you're doing fine. It will be left for you to prove that you have copied the example of hard work in America, the way America is built, and Cameroon should not remain a developing country. You have to develop it. The Americans develop America. I expect you also to set that example by developing the Kingdom of Mankom. So, I'm thankful for what you've done. I've heard remarks made about what I've done, but I can assure you that without you, without the support I've had from your fathers and mothers back home, I couldn't have done that. Success is the result of cooperation, unity, and hard work. I thank you for my support. And having done that far, having gone so far, we have to be careful not to fail. As we grow old and weak, we look up for greater support from you, our children. Thank you. Hey.
Somo wa Cameroon, Galara Malabo, Shema Bongle, Melody Mono, Cameroon,